everyone. Hope you can hear me all fine. So, I've been inspired because I've been playing this mod a bit since it came out, really. I've been checking the workshop all the time at the time, and when this came out, I was like, oh, I'll try it out. I've been playing this for months, at least. Anyway, it elucidates on the Greek struggle for independence. And one of the hagiographies that the GCHP that we've come out with was for Saint Nicephorus of Crete. We looked at this part. And all the kind of revolts to achieve independence for the Christian peoples of this area, the Ottoman Empire, and its nominal vassal Egypt, and these more factual vassals, I suppose, to get independence from the Christian peoples. The Assyrians sadly not being successful. The Kurds, sadly, at the time, I found all kinds of interesting surveys showing how Kurds were significantly Christian at one point. A guy in the early 1900s saying there were family traditions that only 100 years before there were, Kurdistan would have been majority Christian, with the remainder being split up into Yazidis as well as Alawites and more mainstream Muslims, and so it was an interesting time. And this mod elucidates that, allows you to play through these. Yeah, look, they do show the amount of Oriental Orthodoxy and Eastern Orthodoxy in these regions, so you can, as they're being pushed out, and obviously in 100 years from this, they start all their horrible genocides. But this mod obviously allows you to play through that, reverse it, and things like that. So, yeah, it's an interesting mod. I've enjoyed it. I've learned lots. There's a lot of history. You find out more about what it was like than you would otherwise, really. I don't know. So they have them as a protector. Interesting. Right, yeah. So anyway, you learn a lot of history about the Greek struggle for independence, which a lot of non-Greek people don't really know. So I thought I'd play it because of that particular hagiography, even though it's a couple of weeks back, it was very popular. So I thought, I'd follow up on it, because I did one for Canute's Day, and that did quite well. But this would be belated for Nicephorus, but better late than never. I've been, I'm glad you've all been enjoying the hagiographies. Alright, so we'll start reading all the extensive lore. Right, so in the aftermath of gaining independence, Greece fell into political instability, culminating in the assassination of Governor John Capodistrias to stave off a collapse in civil war. I'm particularly bad at, sometimes if I get into the swing of it, I'm all right at Septuagintal Greek, but modern Greek I will not, so it will be kind of mispronounced. So even if I get into the swing of Greek again, it will be a very archaic, very African dialect, for what it's worth. So, go easy on me. It comes from a lot of interesting study, I would say interesting. And a lot of it you can read on the Patreon blog if you want. So, anyway, just as a heads up. Alright, I'll start reading this again, because I went on a tangent. But yes, I will not pronounce this all correctly according to modern Greek, even though this does take place in the modern period. But the modern Greek language was kind of formulated by scholars at this time, and you actually play through that. So, you know, maybe the way I'll end up pronouncing this stuff will be correct in this timeline. You never know. Right, so in the aftermath of gaining independence, Greece fell into political instability, culminating in the assassination of Governor John. To stave off a collapse into civil war, the Great Powers installed a Bavarian Catholic king to govern over the reconstituted Greek state. The young King Otto von Wittelsbach has recently come of age, but finds his ascent to the throne marred by the political intrigues of his arch-chancellor, Joseph Ludwig von Armansperg, who has amassed personal control over the Greek political system. So there is 20, and disliked an arrogant Bavarocrat. Oh, it does give him authority. It's not the worst. Okay. O King of Greece, old Greece bequeathed the lights of learning to Germany. To review Germany has undertaken to repay the gift with interest and will be grateful to you. Is it through? Yeah, it is through you. And will be grateful to you, seeing in you the one to resurrect the firstborn people of the air. Greece must find its way. So we gain these bad traits, and we're disallowed from inviting anyone who might change our situation more naturally. So there's that. Landowner's strength, I always like. So when I play through this, I always go absolute monarchy. So in reality, Greece was one of the first places to go down the route of constitutional monarchy, and that was enshrined. Kind of democratic parliamentarism was pursued really from the monarch's first top-down style, from what I know, or from what some Greeks have told me, and maybe you'll fact-check that for me, but that comes from Greek friends, and maybe I'll be fact-checked as we start reading all this, but that's as far as I know, whereas I secure absolutism for the monarch, so just as a heads up, and I will continue to do so. The Holy Synod. Greece is an Orthodox nation, an Eastern Orthodox nation. We were looking at the Oriental Orthodox there. So, you know, just to be specific. Greece is an Eastern Orthodox nation, yet it is ruled by a Catholic king and infested with Protestant missionaries. The faithful themselves are overseen by the Greek Orthodox Church, led by the Greek Synod. King Otto strikes a careful balance, leaving the Synod to its business, but retaining a final veto of their decision. Historical note. Almost immediately after taking the throne, the Regency Council unilaterally declared the Church in Greece to be autocephalous, considering the ecumenical patriarch in Constantinople to be little more than a pawn of the Sultan, the Ottoman Sultan. This would be the first of many unilateral moves by national churches to break away from Constantinople as a method of asserting their national identity and insulating themselves from meddling by the Ottoman state, wanting to bring them back into the fold. We, however, are an Orthodox nation, unlike the Ottoman state. There is, as an interesting footnote, we are not the only Greek state. There is the Principality of Samos, ruled by Stephen. He's hated, arrogant and cruel. I've heard some more positive accounts of it. Nevertheless, yeah. So he was, he paved the way towards a more independent Greece, and so that whole thing where the Greek majority populated Aegean islands, hugging the what would now be called the Turkish coast, starts there. That these areas, the Ottomans obviously wanted to impose Turkishness on them, and in the 70s they succeeded here. But here they managed to fight back. And in Crete, what had happened? Oh, that's very accurate. The basically the ethnically Greek people converted to Islam, at least in name, to for economic benefits, basically. and political benefits and so on. They would turn back over this coming century, and the martyr Nicephorus of Crete, he was one of these people that converted to Islam for personal gain and then repented of it and was martyred for it, and then becomes a bit of a rallying cry for Cretans. So that all happens in this timeline. What we've got to do is ally with Russia, the Russian Empire, because they like us, because we're Eastern Orthodox, and they neighbour the Ottoman Empire. So all you have to do is get a good enough army to hold the line while the Russians come down and save you. And if you do that, you'll be able to reconquer all the Christian majority, or even places with Christian minorities, in this state. So another thing that was happening at the time, and this also gets covered by journal entries, things like that, is that there was a divide among identity. So in the medieval period, the people we would now call Greeks didn't call themselves Greeks, and they used terms like Greek as an insult. You know, like they called Julian the Apostate a Greek, or an Hellene. So they were all Romans. What then happened over this century, but it's already kind of happening, is you get instead a Greek or Hellenistic identity. And so people are divided about whether to look to the medieval past or whether to look even further. The reason you'd want to look to the medieval past is that's where you get your Christian identity more. If you go to the much more ancient past, then you either have a kind of nominalism, or this is the fear, you know, a nominalism where people are, you know, actually just into a secular identity, or an outright kind of neo-paganism, and that's obviously what Gemistos Plethon did way before this, when he tried to bring back their Hellenistic identity in his own time. What I do is I never successfully take anything in Italy, but sometimes I do in Ethiopia or Arabia, and you can set up puppet states that can make you money there. So that's what I'm going to do. We can't beat the Ottomans, so what we can do is try and join the colonial project early, because there's a lot of money to be made in doing that. We don't have the biggest army. Start mobilizing people, or you know. But yeah, basically all we're gonna do is try and survive long enough for the Russians to save us. That's the tactic to begin with, and I always find it works, so we'll get playing. So yeah, there we go, the Russian Empire has accepted an embassy. So we'll slowly start liking each other. Mercantile, I don't believe is the word, I believe, maybe it is. I'll Wiktionary this quickly. I believe mercantile is correct. I should have googled this before. Mercantile. Oh, it's a dated alternative spelling. Well, I do prefer my traditional spellings of English words, you might have noticed from some of the hagiographies. Fair enough, maybe from now on I'll go with mercantile. There it is. Interesting. Okay. Ever since their arrival in the Balkans in the late Neolithic, the Greek cultures have had a stranglehold on maritime trade across the Aegean Sea. So great was the wealth of the Greek shipping magnates that they provided the material support that would give rise to the Diaphotismos, the Greek Enlightenment, and from there, the Greek Revolution. While the Greeks held maritime supremacy in the Aegean throughout history, Ottoman rule saw Greek merchants take on a power of their own. From the 16th to 18th century, trade in the eastern Mediterranean came under Greek domination. As a result, the jockeying between Greek Great Britain, France, and Russia. The Aegean belongs to the Greek. It is obviously one. So we're basically playing as Otto. So basically Otto says that. An Ottoman legacy. An event in Greece. Greece enjoys a high degree of autonomy from the Ottoman government in Constantinople, yet the fledgling nation is gripped by the consequences of decades of neglect from the Porte. The country is rural, backwards, and uneducated, with medieval processes abounding both in industry and politics. So there we saw merchants, because Ottomans could gain money and power from it, were perfectly empowered within the system, but most people were poorer for it, and progress was blocked by the Ottoman Empire. So where the agricultural revolution in the last century was able to help out a lot of people, give people more time to pray, give farmers more time to pray specifically, you know, and then give more food so that people would starve less. And you had these controversies like the Corn Laws and so on. The Ottoman Empire had prevented all this sort of stuff reaching there, sometimes not maliciously, sometimes definitely maliciously, sometimes just due to incompetence and weakness. But nevertheless, that is the legacy. Now that we're broken free from the Ottoman Empire, that's what we can look back on. So we need a lot more influence. So we need rivals. There are rivals to make. They're helpful. So I don't know about that. But all these microstates, why not? There. That should give us what we need to finally be able to ally them eventually. So let's just double check. So if we become a better power, they'll like us. Right, so then there's all these different tabs you get now. Yeah, so you get all these different tabs, very varying complexity. I've found the mod has made things easier as time goes on, or more easy to comprehend. So if you fail, it's certainly your fault. But sometimes things get harder, but you know, there's not layers of incomprehensibility, which I did find in my defense. Sometimes the Indian system brought in the latest expansion could be a little arcane. Maybe you'll disagree with that. But anyway, so yes, we've got a threefold Ottoman legacy to dismantle. Yeah, the brigands are pretty bad. So there's just literally places ruled by outlaw. Yeah, just outlaws who attack people randomly. We'll get hospitals though, because if you get a big population, then you become a better power, and we want to rank up a bit. Wow, they're less likely to join us, increasingly. In support of the ascent of his son, King Ludwig von Bayern, so that's the King of Bavaria, so that's our dad, has arrived in Greece with the aim to provide both counsel and legitimacy to the young monarch. The arrival of a foreign monarch has caused a buzz of activity and intrigue in Athens, with popular reactions ranging from curiosity to trepidation. And that gives us a prestige boost. That's what we were wanting. So our heir. Oh no, that's not the heir, that's the regent. Heir apparent though, yeah. The regent might take over. Right, so we do need better law enforcement. It's wealth-based education. Private schools, make religious. We want to obviously reconvert everyone in our restored Byzantine Empire, so we'll want it all to be religious. When King Otto arrived, he was accompanied by a force of 3,500 Bavarian soldiers to solidify his rule. In the time since, they found themselves unable to assimilate to life in Greece, speaking neither the language nor having access to the comforts of home. The pervasively rural, presumably it means in, neither having access to the comforts of home in the pervasively rural Greek state, with expenses mounting and their use in putting down rebellions, their presence wears on the Greek populace. The foreign auxiliary troops cost money without doing much, while the insistence on European clothing and armament in the army have removed the most usable people from military service and made them into disgruntled men, says Anton, the Austrian. It's a bit expensive, but we might be better at defending. Let's upgrade. Everyone? We do want line infantry. There we have it. So I have in the past been successful, but now that I'm actually thinking about all the buttons and everything, no. King Otto lacks much as a young monarch, but chief among them is both a queen and an heir. The young king has accompanied his father, King Ludwig, back to Bavaria with the aim of finding an acceptable consort. While the struggle with Lord Joseph has gone mostly unnoticed by the people, they've taken issue with the lack of an heir to the throne. The king has delegated state functions to the council, but many are concerned that the regent will be quick to expand his power base once the monarch leaves. You see, you can decide to go Hellenic or Roman. I will obviously go Roman, but you can go only Hellenic, so you can decide we're bringing back antiquity. But I won't do. We're going Byzantine. So you might notice I'm buddying up with those two people, and it's because of that. I should have been researching nationalism. I've been doing food instead, which I don't think is wrong, but I'll actually switch to nationalism. Oh, see, it takes a while. There we go. Now people are getting comfortable. I've got very low taxes, but I may have to bring in one on wine. That will hit Greeks hard, but it is what it is. I'm drinking a Bavarian beer as we talk, so feels like I'm cosplaying. I'm getting into the role of Otto the Bavarian. No, I'm not Otto, am I? I am Otto, yeah. With the calls for some form of healthcare system, many are questioning where the money for setting up the new healthcare system will come from. Some are suggesting simply taking it out of our tax funds, while others insist the government should find another way to cover the costs. But look, you can get, it's only 200, you can basically cover it, and then you get 30, so we'll basically push this through, and then our population will die less. They'll like us more, the better their living is. Ooh, another event. See, I told you there's a lot of lore. In the years since the seizure of monastic lands by the state, leaders of the church have petitioned the government to replace the loss of their subsistence lands. With their massive estates, the monasteries were able to provide for themselves in a manner completely independent of the state. Without these lands, the number of functioning monasteries has dwindled as the clergy are forced to seek gainful employment. It just costs so much. So we'll just have to say, take it on the chin and say, even though that's the wrong thing to do morally, we just don't have the money. So it's kind of not. If you're incapable, you're incapable. Right, so we don't want the place to destabilize. Let's double check. Do. Nothing yet. We need to get more popular. Securing the Bay bureaucracy, as I say, is what I tend to do. I think we've just got to wait. Ooh. King Otto has been made aware of a disturbing plot by Lord von Armensberg. Ever since the king's departure from Greece, the Arch-Chancellor has been secretly sending letters to King Ludwig, accusing Otto of being both deranged and feeble-minded. In the king's absence, the Lord has centralized political power about himself and has begun a ploy to have himself installed as the permanent regent over the Greek state. Oh no! Otto's return to Bavaria has been filled with pomp and circumstance as his father seeks a suitable match for the young king. A strong match has been found in the young noble Amalia. Although alternative candidates have been put forward, so she's not particularly light. She's also Protestant, so that would add another. Whereas we could buddy up to Sardinia Piedmont. So that's whom he actually married. So there is that. But then these guys, the Savoy family, the Savoyards, will become Italy. That's kind of helpful. So I'm going Italian. So we need popularity. So we're going to invite all the people along. Metaxes, ruler of the church, has had enough compromising. So this isn't a historic event. This just happens randomly. Yeah, we don't care about his popularity. Oh, we have a bad government situation. Oh, it says we couldn't before. It said we couldn't invite people, but it was a lie. There it is. Foreign manifesto for the peasant movement. That's again a random one, so I won't read out random ones. We'll be here all day. I guess if you're tuning in, maybe you want to be here all day. But I think we need to get through the actual story. Enthralled by the magnificent romanticist artwork produced by the British, the intelligentsia. Again, this is a random one, so we'll read the whole thing. But they like British. So, yeah, I guess we kind of like the British, but they are often against Russia. So, you know, we've got to watch out for that one. So we're cordial, trying to buddy up to them. Ooh, more events. King Otto has returned to Greece to find the Regents in Council and the National Assembly divided and in disarray in the hands of Armensberg. Otto now faces pressure from abroad to bring order to the Greek state and legitimize Bavarian rule. In light of this, political leaders demand a resolution to the political crisis. Greece is poor, rural, and dependent on the great powers. The king was accepted eagerly by the Greek people, but every day that passes without reform and without prosperity steadily undermines his authority and tests the patience of the great powers. So we'll dismiss the self-serving worm. And then we become more popular. Yeah, so basically that's just all good. With the independence of the Greek state have come endless cries for reunification or enosis, with the various Greek population centres ruled over by the powers associated with the Ottoman state. They have begun to centre on reclaiming the fertile plains of Thessaly, unfairly denied us in the London Protocol. And then there's a poem about Thessaly, but I won't read it. I'm not the worst at reading poetry, but I'm not the best. You'll have heard it read better. The abolition of hereditary positions for large portions of government bureaucracy has dragged the government forward from the Ottomans' medieval legacy. The gentry may hem and haw, but the only way forward for Greece is to leave behind the trappings of absolutism. Wow. You know, we'll see. So we get more bureaucracy, which is good, more taxes, which means we to squeeze the people less for taxes. We are losing increasing amounts of money, I think because we've gotten a better army. I think that's the gist. They do They are infamous. So, I mean, sometimes... So Sicily will help us, Russia won't, and that's not enough. Sometimes you can finally burst the bubble and ally Russia by starting a war with the Ottomans and just doing it that way. And this, you would think, would be as good a moment as any, because the Ottomans are being infamous right now. They're being belligerent, so everyone's belligerent to them. Okay. You would think, but apparently not. Obviously, our fellow Christians under their boot want to be free. And yeah, that's why I'm nervous about Britain. They're friendlier at the moment to the Ottomans. If you know the whole Crimean War thing, they sided against the Christians for the Ottomans, and that was very controversial at the time, and ended up in the collapse of the government because it was the wrong thing to do. The Liberal government did that. So that's the state we're in. British people didn't like that move at all. We now have we can release him. The Turk Eater. We can release from prison, but he hates us and he eats Turks. So I've never actually released it. Let's go for it. In a supreme act of clemency, the king has pardoned Niceteris from his imprisonment and charged him with aid in the defence of the nation. A famed fighter during the Greek War of Independence, he was known for his aggressive actions against Turkish soldiers, earning him the nickname Turkophage or Turk Eater. Armed with a sword and pardons for previously speaking out against the regency, our rivals would do well to fear him. So we do lose a bit of legitimacy, but the king is liked, and we do want an absolutist state, so that's the right move. So we'll have him in charge of the other army. Will we? Oh, they've already got a general. Maybe, yeah, maybe then. Our army is growing ever so slightly. Not having any voting rights. But that's a good thing. Oh, failing debates. Constitutional promises. While the Regency Council took custody of Greece, it was with the promise that a formal constitution would be established. Presently, Otto rules with no structure in place to seek redress against abuses of power, and he has shown little interest in accepting reform. And there's a big quotation, but that's too long. Something must be done. So, we can institute autocracy, which is what I'll do. But we can't have a totally unstable state. Anyway, we'll win people's affection over with that, and then we'll go for autocracy. So they do, and I like this about the mod. They do let you go either way. They don't have like, oh, this is how it went in real life, so this is what the goodies do. They let you choose. Brigands have raided. Oh, that's quite a hit on support for the king, as you'd expect. But we are getting police in order. So, but a few more weeks, and there'll be quite a powerful police force. And influential faction are in support of hospitals. You'd hope. Right, so there's a war going on. They want to make Oman a tributary state, giving them influence over East Africa. But we're not powerful enough to defeat them. I've got this mod that adds loads of attacks, like Jerusalem. So we might see our Crusader friends freed at some point, but we'll probably just annex the region to Byzantium. Right. So yeah, we're plodding along with hospitals. We're doing that first. That will help people. Oh, but we do need to improve farms. So we need a wheat farm to be level 5 and to be profitable. The Peloponnesus is capable of doing this for us, so that's why we'll do it. So Arcady, where all the poems are about being agrarian, that's where we're going to do all our agrarian stuff. So we'll get loads of Victorian people kind of, writing poems about us. That was, in real life, quite a helpful thing for the Greek cause. The Greek-Russian League has offered us with an opportunity to establish an alliance. That is what we want. Oh, people are bigoted about the Romans who do not want to become Greeks. Yeah, we can take the hit. I like the Romans. I want them to stay Roman for when we become Roman. Yeah, all we need is nationalism, and then we'll be able to get the Ionian Islands, which I do find helps. Oh! Amazing. Well, is it time to rumble? So Russia will join. Italy still might. I think it's time to rumble. Russia, I've always found, can, basically. The anti-Ottomans like us doing that. The Turk-Eater will also like us doing that. He's been hungry. Yeah, there we go. Oh, we can't actually win people over. That's a shame. I was hoping should have been buddying up to them. We need more guns. Russian guns. Ally. Ooh, or get another war goal. No, we don't actually want them to do that. And that's the only thing they want, so ally will do. A trade agreement, though, wouldn't hurt. And that costs less than ally, so we can demand more stuff. That's what we'll do. Because we want that, right? Anyway. They don't want any land, particularly. Nothing. But no one is planning to help the Ottomans. So all we've got to do, like I've said, is hold the line till the Russians save us. Samos we might want. They're worried, so if we do give them reasons to back down, they might back down. Is there any... Oh, it's so expensive. Selanik, though, we could do. Karadig. Where's Karadig? That would isolate us, wouldn't it? No. No, it wouldn't. The Middle East would, though. Selanik. Wasn't it? Thessalonica. Selanik. Yeah. What are we on? So a 10, we could take the hit and do a 10. Or we just liberate Christian countries. So that they just decide to join us. That's possible. And that. So we'll do Epirus then. Ooh, oh, so we couldn't do both of these things. Nothing. But it's free land, so yeah. And I'm gonna say, yeah, you've got to do that. Yeah. So the reason they got to back down is they don't have to lose Epirus. There we go. So at the moment, you wouldn't think that we're going to win this one. That's that bad. The obligation we owe to Great Britain is being used as a pretext for a request to betray their country as less of a threat. Sure thing. Alright, they're sending more troops out. The decline of the Heptanese. Ever since Greek independence, the great art schools of the Ionian Islands have been declining as artists explore abroad. The Royal Commission has suggested that the state set up a royal art school to attract Greek artists. There's a show my mum and my sister watch about artists in the Ionian Islands in this period. So, I mean, that's an actual topic people talk about. That's interesting. I'd always just, like, click through this. I don't care about schools, but there it is. In the centuries since the fall of Constantinople, artists on the Ionian Islands kept alive the Byzantine artistic tradition. With an independent Greek state and influence from Italian and French artists, many artists have begun to shift towards Romanticism and away from what this author considers to be the restrictive style of Byzantine art. And that's what we'll do. Alright, they better get more people to the front lines. They back down! We've only gone and done it. So the Principality of Samos is in. But slowly, you know, breaking free. So, what to do? But that's big news. We got Thessaly. Orthodox but split between Albanians, Romans and Greeks and Jews. But different kinds of Jews. Romanians, which is like what Saint Epiphanius was. Globally they mostly live... we were going to conquer Salonik. So we won't be too bad, infamy-wise, at all. Maybe we should have taken Salonik. Maybe not. Maybe. But yeah, you can see it's massive boost for our economy. But we don't need these things. That are just making everyone poorer. And I think our military might have benefited. Yeah, we'll give these guys to the Turkey Eater. Bada bing. There it is. Right, that's good. A very successful first war. And they're paying us. I was thinking, like, gosh, a lot of money, isn't it? There it is. Oh, finally. So with the lack of popularity is mostly being from the people that didn't want to be conquered by an independent Greece. How strange. Yeah. So once we've got nationalism, we'll get more land. This has gone all right, I gotta say. Is there? So I can't see. Other people can see the option to like agitate for Cretan independence and things. We don't have that option. So they've got a better standard of living in Greece, so they're being won over. Can win them round. So we've got a 50-50 chance of basically this. Yeah, next month then. Finally having hospitals, and then we can start absolutizing the state. There we go. What did I tell you? So the church is better. We've got lower or more powerful. We've got lower. Oh, everyone's behind it. It's like, yeah, come on, King, just crack on. All right. Oof, no good. Deeper crafting. So we've got to make our own paper. I think that's what's clear. Where do we build again? Production resources on the street. There we go. Best place to do it. With that, in terms of like earnings, but there's not enough jobs. Do we start encouraging people to migrate? It's a double-edged sword, to say the least. In a time where basically we're split already between massively conflicting ethnicities. But I think we do, because we just need population. We've gotten now churches looking after hospitals. We do need more, because that, if you get a bureaucracy spiral, that's bad. And then you can't get the money you need to sort the bureaucracy out. But yeah, look, you can see we're improving everyone's life, and they're seeing that too. Faith knows no borders. Yeah, of course we want to help out our friends. Or they're going to make him a puppet, but it doesn't matter because we'll get to integrate them. That's it. I guess, you know, help out the liberals. Though Alexander is still fighting for his cause, no one's following him. Alright. See ya. More authority? Or do we want more? Stronger army? Just to save up. But we've basically got like max on our money, can we? Yeah, alright. Get a bit more prestige. Okay. The limited political resources of the Orthodox have made the Greek leadership question its membership. Yeah, don't abandon either. Oh, the political stability is really bad. Oh. So we just need autocracy. It's advancing. We're getting there. Cool. We can rival the Indians. It's interesting to know. But then the British might not like us, right? Yeah, I might as well, if they're helping us. Oh yeah, this adds this new tab. You see, stuff like that. But we don't want to do that. But we've got... so he's only a metropolitan archbishop. We haven't actually made a patriarch of Greece. And maybe in this timeline we won't, because what we're going to do is take over the ecumenical patriarchate by conquering Constantinople. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, we're advancing. It's okay. People are dividing. What is a Greek? So I had mentioned that before. The question of a Greek identity but no one is Greek. They're stuck between Hellene and Romaios, Roman, you know. But then you'll get a possibility that we'll get a Greek culture emerge instead, and that represents modern Greekness in this game. Yeah, so the question of Greek identity is taking new light with the emergence of nationalist thought. In Greece, intellectuals have emphasized language and religion as the delimiters of a common Hellene identity. The idea is weak among the common folk who feel stronger links to their Roman villages that have endured since, or villages that have endured since Byzantine times. In the Byzantine era, Greeks often defined themselves along two lines. Firstly, they call themselves Romans. Secondly, they emphasized their identity as Christians. This mixed identity became even more important in the Ottoman era, where their culture survived by shared experience of language and religion through various stages of acceptance and persecution by their Ottoman overlords. But haven't we always been Greek? No. Also quite important is that to undermine the Ottoman Empire, certain Britons especially were kind of doing PR for people. So we did PR for Egypt, and this guy, Muhammad Ali, yeah, King Muhammad Ali of Egypt, basically let the British do all this archaeology that we're famous for, and setting up the British Museum to basically show it all off, to try and say, yeah, Egypt. So before that point, people were like, oh yeah, Egyptians are like Arabs and Moors and Turks and stuff, that's it. Whereas then we were like, no, Egypt's got this totally different history. And that's what the British Museum was more or less established for. It's not really just about like learning. It's about supporting political independence of various groups. We also had people go here to Mesopotamia because there was someone trying to do what this guy was trying to do in Mesopotamia, but it didn't work. But we nevertheless did loads of stuff about, doesn't Babylon have such a unique culture, and Sumer and Assyria, to help the Syrians out. But then also, Iraqi kind of independence. It didn't work, but, So when you kind of, in British schools, I know this is like it, maybe it is in America, but you get this idea that there's like, you had like Sumerian times, then Egyptian times, then Babylonian times, then Greek times. Which is of course silly because it's all just different parts of the world and they all go through their all different histories. But you get this idea where there was this real push for consciousness about these being the great civilizations, and the British Museum was pushing it. And so Greek identity was more saleable to the post-Enlightenment people of Great Britain, whereas Byzantine stuff they found kind of boring. They found unappealing. Things like, castrating and blinding people wasn't seen as good. Obviously, ancient Greeks did much worse things, but because people kind of didn't know, they could cover over it at the time. So they pretended that a male platonic relationship meant nothing sexual at all, whereas of course it means something very sexual in ancient Greek stuff. But we still use platonic with all this propaganda that Britain put out at that time. So a key part of why the elites were pushing Greek or Hellenistic identity and rural people had their Roman identity was that the elites were interacting with Britain and France, who wanted the Hellenistic thing because they were like, that's what we can sell. So if you really want to get independent and for just all these genocides and stuff to stop, you're gonna have to just be Greek and not Byzantine because we can't sell it. And so you had like loads of adventurers like Lord Byron and everything who would go and help Greeks out because he's like, we're restoring for him, he kind of liked Greece because it was like sexually liberated and that's what he was about. So anyway, but we can decide between So we can create Greek as in trying to embrace both. So I think that is meant to be the historic path, but then you've got the Hellenistic ones, so that's what we're being pushed towards. But then we can go even more based than happened in real life and say, nah, we're Romans instead. And if we, of course, embrace that, we'll set up this Byzantine Empire that will take over all of this and maybe more, and re-establish the Roman Empire. So that's what we're doing. We've got grander plans than the real Otto had. So he did well. I like that. He's not always liked historically. So we're halfway to our country collapsing. So that's not ideal at all. Right. Following the decades of academic rigor, spelt in the American fashion, but some things have been spelt in the British fashion. That's confusing me. Constantine has published the last volume of his work, History of the Hellenic Nation, a remarkably vivid and elegant accounting of Greek history. His work is the first to thread together the histories of ancient Greece, medieval Greece, and the modern Greek state into a marvelous story of Greek presence across the Balkans and Anatolia. But that was published 20 years from now. It was the first truly academic attempt to rebut the mainstream opinion that the Greek race had been displaced or assimilated by various Slavic peoples during the migration period, with a complete disregard towards nearly a millennium of Byzantine domination of the Hellespont, followed by a complete existence as an integral part of the fabric of the Ottoman state. Right. So, let's see. What am I trying to... What am I not getting about that sentence? It was a long sentence. And you'd think as someone who's read Cicero, but it took me ages to read Cicero. But that's a long sentence. I'm not alone in it. So, he rebuts the mainstream opinion that the Greeks had been displaced or assimilated by Slavs during the migration period of late antiquity. So they have the complete disregard. Or does he have the complete disregard towards a millennium of Byzantine domination? Because doesn't the Byzantine Empire include loads of Arabs who intermarry with Christian Arabs who intermarry with the Christian Greeks? So surely, if he's like, nah, there was no assimilation amongst the Greeks, isn't he ignoring the Byzantine domination? Followed by the Ottoman integration, which would surely do the same thing. But like, or is he saying the opposite, that the academics at the time ignore Byzantine and Ottoman stuff, which somehow... Am I alone in finding this confusing? Hope not. I guess I'll just have to read the book for myself. But it's in several volumes, it'll take ages to see whether he disregards, whether it's him that disregards or someone else that disregards the effect of Byzantinism on Greek ethnicity. But I do know that 10% of Greeks today have blonde genes that are believed to be from Slavs. So that's quite significant, right? Like it is something. Like if we're like totally seen as like, oh, we're just Frenchmen, you know, the British Frenchmen who like speak French poorly because the French say that sort of stuff all the time. Like it kind of goes to the Greeks as well, right? You know what I mean? Anyway, the Greek flame will never be extinguished, or do we go down the Roman routes? Loyalism. So that just gives us a bonus across all society and gives us 1k. So it's not like we're not progressing at all. Let's go for that. Yeah, there it is. We've gone from 3 to 4. What a legendary move that was. Absolute legend. So how long are we at peace until 43. So we'll make the most of it. But we are doing. We should build more while we're getting funded. That's my opinion. Is it industry? That's production. Is it, yeah, it's a political bit. We'll do it there. So it's just government. Wait, did I click the wrong button? Random. I want the construction sector in Thessaly. Bing, boom. 10 weeks. There we go. All right. That way we've got the Ottomans paying us to develop our nation, so that we can take more of them. And yeah, so we want to embrace Roman identity. We'll need pan-nationalism. We've got grassroots support for autocracy. Political wills and desires of the lower classes will always remain an opaque matter. For whatever reason, support for autocracy has spread like wildfire across Greece, spurred on by charismatic speakers and lively debates in small town social clubs. This is a random event, by the way. Public enthusiasm will help the absolutist movement permanently. Gosh! Can we invite any absolutists? Liberal, peasant, liberal, peasant, liberal. No absolutists. What? Good vintage. Prestige, that's what we want. Ah, Napoleonic warfare. The attitude of the landowners towards Russia is growing more apathetic. Why change something that works? Stay Russian. Yeah, I mean, they just what? I know that's just a random event, but like, can you imagine? Like, they've just handed you the most prosperous part of your country, and then you're like, I'm not so sure. You couldn't imagine it. That would just be so silly. So that event should almost be banned, is what I'm saying, for this mod, this playthrough. You know. Oh no! Oh, maybe they were right. Oh, we're gonna get vassalized. Oh, that's bad. So we've got to start making our own tools. Russia's in the Russian market. Greece is in the Greek market. We've got our own market. Oh, there's an Egyptian war going on. And we don't want to go against the Ottomans because they're funding us right now. So it's cool that so they want to give freedom of conscience to help the Christians out. We kind of want the Christians to get angry. The Bonapartists are taken over by force. And what? The legitimist monarch is fighting to put Napoleon in charge. I mean, it's very selfless that he's just like, this is what's best for the nation, and he's going for it. What a guy. So, because the Ottomans are poorer, I think, because of the war, we're getting less. So, we can get prestige. What's our prestige now? It's only 30. So, an extra 20 would help. As much as we do need autocracy to go through. But it nearly is. See, and if we're 22, we're like a minor power. So, Egypt's doing alright. They're doing alright. The Djibouti wants to be friends. A lot of Turkish people. We might have to buddy up to them. Oh, it's barely done anything. I thought there were a lot of Turks in... Oh, some. Oof. Bit of a misstep. Alright, so I wonder if Djibouti would help us invade Somalia for profit. Alright, there we go. More authority, more legitimacy. Oh, we're so unstable. We'll complete. King has maximum support. Long live the Constitution against popular demands and in defiance of his obligation to Greece's protectors. Arto has dismissed Ignatius Rudeheart and established absolute personal rule over the Greek state. Oh, and then it's got an actual quotation on them. In my position without state chancellor, without prime minister, I feel a new incentive to devote myself with great activity to my calling. The success of the good cause now depends on me more than formerly. Oh, so the Pops love it. Well, no, some are getting loyal, some are getting radical. Any democratic group doesn't like it, but yeah, a big boost. People are rallying behind the king, and we did not have political instability, so that's good. The king needs maximum support, so that's 0 instability. That's right. So is that this bar? Is it going up? It's going down, and we're getting instability again. Yeah, so that is support, right? And then we get a revolution to overthrow. Maybe the monarch that brought in constitutional monarchy wasn't the Bavars. Maybe it was the guys that took over after them. I'm not sure. There doesn't seem to be much to do. So I'm losing support then. Oh, releasing the Turkey helped. So we've got to... We'll get rid of the brigands then. So we're working on that farm. We've got a farm that's got 5, isn't it? It's in Arcady. There it is. We'll have to subsidize it then. Unable to hire because needs more productivity. But if we subsidize, yay, they're hiring. That's what we want. Alright, boom. Jonas King, a young and enthusiastic preacher from the United States of America, has caused public outrage by spreading Calvinist doctrine in Greece. The clergy have demanded immediate action from Otto. At least on paper, the citizens of Greece enjoy religious freedom. In practice, however, the Greek state is dominated by the church-based. Following accusations of heresy for disrespect of Orthodox iconography, he published a book, The Defense of Jonas King, in which he argued that the early church fathers rejected the use of icons. In doing so, he has been branded an apologist for iconoclasm and has drawn popular anger. So, so what do we do? There's like no Protestant pops there. But then he does it as a speech. Yeah, there's literally. But he's trying to make sure there are. But if there were any. I mean, we don't want religious freedom. What we want is... So that we do actually, like it says, have in practice. So that Who won't like that? The intelligentsia. What? But we're paying them like a bunch of dosh. I don't know, what do you think? I'll give you a second in the chat. I always suppress them, so I'm just gonna do it. You know. Okay. So, yeah, Austria's destroying the Ottomans. We love to see it. We're getting unstable again. Unstable. We don't need that loan. Oh, no. Things are getting expensive. Oh, but we had to do what we had to do. Upgrade everyone. No, we have got cannons and things. That's interesting. Yeah, so we're suppressing the Calvinist. Is what we're doing. So there is a slow. Oh, so the Bavarians. I see. They are causing the instability. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Support for the king increased. That's what we need. And so he is liked because he is the turkey thing. An affair between John and Otto, and Otto's spouse has reached our ears. I'm never too keen on them doing this with a random event, because it's like, hey, wait a second, that's a real woman you're claiming slept around. You know what I mean? The king gets syphilis because of... Oh, no. Oh, that's really bad. So, to John, I don't think is particularly... Yeah, we'll just have the turkey. Oh no, the turkey one and our main one. We'll, yeah, get rid of John, and Carl can be in charge of the royal army. That be. Let's go for it. And then we have the speech for the Areopagus. We will warn the itinerant preacher Jonas King has been brought before Greece's High Court to answer for the charges of heresy and defamation of the state. Following rapid proceedings, the court has ruled that the preacher will be exiled. Da, 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 da. I'm an evangelist that's preacher of the word of God. I'm a Christian most orthodox. Those things in my book with regard to Mary, with regard to transubstantiation, with regard to images, did not say. But the most brilliant luminaries of the Eastern Church, Saints Epiphanius, Chrysostom, Basil, Irenaeus, Clement, and Eusebius, you know, they said it instead of me. Says Jonas King, but, you know. Yeah, I mean, Epiphanius was an iconic, infamously. So the Protestants are like, fuming, but there are none, so that's fine. Looking to the British system, Marlborough has no democracy here. Thank you very much. Alright. just seen it tick up. It's always a bit stressful. So any pro-voting movement we've got to suppress then. That's what I've not been doing. Why do I always win this? I've never bothered with all this stuff. But it seems like it's really important. And yet I always like form the Roman state. Just like Lucky syndrome that, you know. Caesaropapism. Does it have a passive effect? Probably should have used the Ottomans' money to do some of that church stuff. With the Church of Greece, while the Church of Greece has been a vital pillar of our cultural identity, senior clergymen have suggested that the inclusion of state-appointed priests is diluting the holiness of the church. Dating back to Byzantine times, many positions within church leadership were appointed by the state. This practice was additionally normalized under both Turkish and Russian rule. However, this practice often risked damaging the credibility of the clergy and kept the church open to political meddling. And of course, prior to the Turks, the Romans did the same. We're going to assert the state because we're going Byzantine. Said it once, say it a million times. So, do the peasants want to vote? I don't think they do. What's that? So it's land reform they want. And we want land. We've got to get rid of tenant farms. Make them serfs instead? Are we allowed to do that? We need to get rid of local police. Do we? We need to be dedicated. We can survive with it being dedicated. Alright, intelligence here, income. We'll be illegitimate. Don't care. We've got to get a dedicated police force to end the brigands. No one wants the... Oh! I forgot that happens. We boot out. Yeah, that can do it. That's what we have to do. We'll just have to hold our nose and... yeah, it's done alright. We don't have too much instability. We're gonna claim the restoration of the Greek Empire or the Byzantine Empire. Oh, here we go. You may now support Greek separatism. This is, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to sink all our money into it. We're going to, 17 years. We do need pan-nationalism, so we can become Romans instead of synthesizing the various identities we have, because that's a bit lame. Yeah, so that's it. Honeymoon period over. We've got to now extract as much wealth as we can so we can survive long enough. Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah. Oh. That gives us +1. Interesting. So we'll let them in. We need them to have more clout. How are we gonna boost our in for the penny, right? Oh, it is going through. Okay, because it's got such a high chance, like it's going to go through. We've just got to put up with some turmoil. But people are perfectly happy. Also, oh, Russia's not even going to join us. So we no longer have similar governments, apparently. But we're allies. We've lost all our money. Oh, we can annex Ionia. There we go. Through careful negotiations, Great Britain has agreed to cede Ionia to Greece to promote goodwill between our nations and to bolster the spirit of the Greeks. The Queen has graciously ceded the Ionian Islands, our amicable protectorate under which the islands benefited from our true and just assistance, is deemed at an end, and we trust that the people of these isles will prosper under the benevolent care of our trusted friends. So Hellenes like us, and we can, but Samos is, I think, technically funding us in some sense. No? I don't think they like us either, do they? Yeah, I guess we might as well. Following quick negotiations, Samos has agreed to join the Greek state. For centuries, the island has stalwartly held out against Turkish and European incursion. At long last, it will be reunited. So again, Hellenes. Look, we've got a very... How are we going to get? Alright, so we've got to do that again. And that will only stall. Ah! How did I do this before? They want police. Yes! It's something. It's successful! Alright, we're doing it. The Macedonian revolt. We've got to support them. We ride to their aid. Do we? But of course... the Russians are going to help us this time. There we go. That's important. Helpful. The Russian... Oh! And like, no one's going to go against us if we just try and bull rush Constantinople. That's what we're going to do. We don't want the Aegean Islands. They can take Samos. Oh, that is called the Aegean Island. There it is. Oh, wow. There it is. Right, and... yeah, let's just take as much as we can then. Why not Albania? Because that's harder to get than win them over in a different way. Thrace. Then we're all connected then, and then we don't have to rely on shipping. So I think I'm going to make that my primary. Egypt sided with their Ottoman oppressors. But they're still worried they might back down. They want Greece to be protectorate, so I've joined the Ottoman Empire again. Can you imagine? Wow, the Russians are defending the islands. Interesting. We'll get him to do that thing then. Oh, they're confident, the Macedonians. Maybe they shouldn't have been. Don't know if I could have helped them. Maybe I should have done. I just don't know. Alright. We're advancing. No. But if we advance successfully enough, we could drive the Turks out of Macedonia. Then, you know. Oh no, they're going to get conquered. Oh. That's such a shame. Yeah, it's happened. Tragic. They're not interested in backing down. They're at peace. They've done it. They've done it. Can we ask them to join? So far in debt because of this. I know that's a ploy to take over our country, but I am that desperate. But I mean, once we've got Constantinople back, we won't be poor anymore. That's my genuine feeling. So, and we could always take out that loan we're constantly being reminded of. Wow, Roman! Did you say Roman identity? Take a big push. Yeah. Alright, and we're pushing there. Bosnia! Well, we'll take it eventually. Okay. There we go. Alright. Ooh. So we'll just have to Enosis Macedonia. Easily done. There we go. Wow, we'll get Constantinople back. Well, this has been solid. Yeah, they're going to collapse, and then they'll just hand me their capital. Do they still have it as their capital? There it is. Bada bing. But we don't have enough. Oh, they kind of don't like me. In Macedonia. We could just hand, then we might lose the core. So look, it's all incorporated. But hasn't helped our monetary situation too much. Constantinople will be that. The liberated Greeks of Constantinople have petitioned the king to restore the city to its former position as the centre of the Greek world. The kingdom of Greece is not Greece, it's merely a part. The smallest, poorest part of Greece. The Greek is not only he who inhabits the kingdom, but also he who inhabits Ionia, Sakonika, or Sers, Adrianople, or Constantinople, or Trebizond, or Crete, or Samos, or any other region belonging to Greek history or the Greek race. There are two great centres of Hellenism. Athens is the capital of the kingdom, Constantinople is the great capital, the dream and hope of all Greeks, so it will be the heart of Greece. And then the Greeks love that. Alright, so we're doing slightly better money-wise, but it's a spiral. Maybe we do need to stop. Can we stop agitating? We can stop agitating. Yeah, that's sufficient. Okay, so high taxes for a bit. People will be upset, but they will finally have achieved Enos. So I can't complain too much. That's what I'm getting at. Could lose a lot of money, but we need to do that at some point. We're not still low on paper, but textile mills. Yeah, we do need that. Yeah, prioritise non-luxury. Can we do partnership in 20 years? So if we're gonna go Roman, it's gonna take a while. Let's just focus on stabilizing things. Where are we? Oh, the Turkey ear isn't giving us the boost anymore. Oh. What to do? Yeah, we're getting rid of police force. That's the key thing. And then we have to, the whole farming system has to be upended. Oh, we're already on 30%. Oh, we're still losing money. Tobacco, there we go, boom. Tobacco tax. Oh, that's bad, isn't it? But look at that, that's going to be quite the grease. And the Albanians probably don't like us now because they got, yeah, Turkish pops, that's a big deal now. No, it's not. Let's make traditionalists more popular. So if we look, yeah, it is mostly in, what would be? Greece is an Orthodox nation, yet King Otto follows the Catholic faith. Vocal church leaders have suggesting that it's high time the king put the good of the nation before his personal matters and join the church. The Eastern Orthodox Church has held sway over the Balkans and Asia Minor since the time of the Romans. However, in the intervening centuries, both Catholicism and Protestantism have risen in the West. This has clashed with local nations who have found themselves led by non-Orthodox sovereigns imposed on them by the Great Power. Yeah, the royal family. And then look, popularity. The Orthodox like us, that does really help things. Won't do too much, but look at that. Yeah, I'm so popular, I'm mitigating the voting rights there. Yeah, come on. Stay based. We can't extract money at rapid rates if we're gonna. Oh, that will help, yeah. Okay, so we just once they join, I mean, then there's not even the whole conquered problem. They'll just join. So I think you can see it. Yeah, we do get at least monthly a bit of a boost. Oh, it's so now that I'm actually paying attention. Gosh, and to think I just like kind of blammed my way through this. So the king himself is popular, but he doesn't. Oh, he's neutral. We're losing money again. Well, there it is. Alright, we are getting successes, so you know. A lot of unrealized taxes. So that really is what? So it's Albania, Eastern Thrace, due to the recently conquered. So we'll get there. We'll get there. But we're getting there. Constantinopolis. There it is, and there's the Hagia Sophia, though it's still painted red and it's got minarets. So they haven't got a separate little thing. Look at that, it's slowly growing, the Orthodox population. We'd love to see it. With the liberation of Constantinopolis, Dmitry Volga has suggested reorganizing the Fanar Greek Orthodox College and opening it to the masses for the benefit of all Greeks. The Imperial University of Constantinople was founded as a universitas in 425 AD under the Emperor Saint Theodosius II. It was his feast day recently, and I did a post on it on the GCHP online and I think on Facebook. Yeah, I did it on Facebook. Oh no, it was Theodosius I recently. I have also done a post on Theodosius II. That will be later in this year. The Facebook post. It's already, if you want to read that, you can subscribe to the Patreon. And, you know, find out everything Emperor St. Theodosius II did, why he's a saint. But anyway, you know, so it goes, yeah. We've got a couple of reasons. Dmitry Volga. Historical, he's loved, but he's turned Republican by being so autocratic. Still, he likes this. Right, while different from European-style universities, it was an institution of higher learning, teaching subjects ranging from law to mathematics and philosophy. With 31 chairs teaching subjects in both Latin and Greek, the institution aimed to produce competent bureaucrats to manage the Byzantine state. After the fall of Constantinople in 1453 AD, the university reorganized into its current form, serving Phanariot families and Ottoman ministers. And yeah, there we go. We just get a free uni. Oh. With support from both politicians and scholars, archaeologists from across Greece have begun a process of locating, securing and restoring the numerous relics of ancient Greece. E4s from the Greek Archaeological Service have prepared a list of sites for immediate study. Founded in 1837, gosh, they beat us to it quite a long way, but we beat them to Constantinople. Swings and roundabouts. So in reality, it was founded in 1837. The Archaeological Society of Athens was instrumental in cataloguing and restoring countless ruins and artifacts extending from as recent as Byzantine times to as far back as the Greek Bronze Age. A worthwhile endeavour. I think this might help our... right, we want Roman sites. Consider alternate sites. Yes. So, like I was saying, you had this whole... and this archaeological site is obviously connected with things like the British Museum. So there's all this pressure that we should click that. But what we're going to do is say, nah, we're bucking the trend and you can't force us to prefer one part of our history over another. Against the tide of institutional and cultural momentum, the directors of the Archaeological Service have approved the study of Byzantine-era sites in addition to ruins from the Greek era, ancient Greek era. This decision has proven unpopular within our own academia, with many voicing concerns that acknowledging this aspect of history will dilute our cultural identity. It's unique, and that's what we're going to do. Intelligentsia, which already hate us, show Romans. The remainder of the Roman Empire is so integral to our existence that many structures remain in use to this day, with their original purposes long forgotten. Every excavation we complete... oh, listen to that song. A prayer, because we're going down the Christian route. Every excavation we complete of a Roman site will increase our tilt towards Roman math. Bada bing, the Hexamillion Wall. That's what we're doing. E4s from the Archaeological Society have organised a team to begin a systematic excavation of the site in the Peloponnesus. This team has staged in Tripoli and awaits approval from the state sponsors to depart. From the Peloponnesus to as far as the Hindu Kush, there are countless treasures of our Greek heritage to be found. Yes, we wish the team luck. Because we worked hard on getting that bureaucracy and we've done it. Yeah. And there they are. So they'll give us, because this is a little... So by 10 support, does it have to be like any more than that? No, it just has to be... so if Romans become literate, they'll be like, nah, we're bucking the trend. But you can imagine, as much as we're all obviously Byzantinists, because obviously those of us have played Crusader Kings and all of this, but you can imagine at the time, you would have remembered all this Greek uprising and everything, so all the Hellenism would be a lot more meaningful to you today, at that time. Whereas today, we're like, nah, you should have gone. Well, maybe not all of us are like this, but a lot of Paradox fans are like, nah, you should have gone Byzantine. With the trials and tribulations of the early Bavarecrat rule have faded into distant memory, and King Otto has been hailed as the backbone of the Greek state. As power centralizes ever more around the royal court, the people pray for their future prosperity. It was the young lord of the house Wittelsbach that brought peace to Greece. It's only right that they retain their authority to rule with 50 popularity. That is going to help. Not that much. It will. Loved. I loved. Let's see. I'm still considered an arrogant Bavarecrat, but I'm loved. Yeah, it hasn't changed. Ooh, oh, it's only 6 regiments. And we can just call on our ally to help, and they're only taking Western Thrace. Ironically, I think, because that's the more Turkish one. Oh, we're actually going to go Roman. Alright, so I've paid more attention for the stream, and I hope you all appreciate that. So that means we're actually, because before, admittedly, when I've totally won the kind of war against the Ottomans, I end up with the Greek identity. But we're going Roman. Mobs have surrounded the arsenal. It's a random one, so... Oh, no. So it's going to break out the war, but we're going to win the war, so... The Turkey Eater has more food served. He hungers. Ah, we can annex Macedonia. And the Hellenes become... Oh, they're going to take Macedonia. And they're going to have more people, but it doesn't really matter. Because I should have waited. I should have waited. And we have a hammer. Right. Should have been suppressing these before. They're militant. There's not much we can do about it. Oh, we can... Yeah. Do that. Defensive cooperation, that's what I like to see. Yeah, so he'll join for nothing. Popular interest, outgrowing crowds are checking it out. So they're, the crowds are gonna... Yeah, we're professionals. But yeah, anyway, so crowds were watching our Roman expedition, and they're all thinking, oh yeah, we are Romans, aren't we? Yeah. Interesting. And Samos is going to go Turkish. Fascinating. So yeah, I should have waited. But maybe this is one way of Romanizing the area. So while tragic in one sense, yeah, is that what we're gonna do? We're just gonna say, hey, let's radicalize them all, get the Russians to get rid of them, and oh, the excavation's done well. Nice, yeah. Look, it's got all actually done. I don't think the war stops it. Yeah, the king put Napoleon Bonaparte. Oh, the cowards. Jonas King returns. Having sense to Thor in Orthodox Catholic relations, the preacher Jonas King can actually have him. So he is Yankee and Orthodox. They do have him as Orthodox. But like, this is interesting. Someone's again travelled to Greece. Yeah. Yeah, influence. Yeah, we'll let him. Yeah, let's go for it. We're nearly there. Yeah, if the Turks decide to back the Turkish secessionists, Russia is going to give us loads of free land. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. And yeah, we've got ideas to expand. They're going to help us. The Turks are not going to try their luck. No, maybe. We'll wait for them to try that, shall we? Just do that, and then yeah, Alright, there we go. We've done it. Early. Finished a Roman site early. We've over-progressed with heavy machinery. Hex milling more thoroughly examined. Increases Roman excavations by 1. E4s from the Archaeological Service have announced the completion of a spawning survey detailing the extent of the hexamilling war, stretching from across the isthmus, which ruins have provided experts with several major artifacts from the Roman era. With every medieval site explored, Greece is reminded of how it flourished in the Roman era. Think about that. Now what? Chios, lots of interesting things there. Because that's where Giovanni Giustiniani Longo lived. Maybe they'll mention him. E4s from the Archaeological Society, yeah, it's the same thing as before. But the staging core of this stuff. As I suppose you'd expect. So these guys are just going to march through? Just conquer it all? I do want a Cretan revolt to survive. Oh, we're wasting a lot of bureaucracy. Ideal. Yeah, they just get to march through uninhibited. Look at that. Retaking Macedonia was that easy. Oh, the Bulgars are free. No. But something's happening. Wow, alright, this has been a shockingly easy war. They're embargoing you. They've got us on the run. Oh, it's been such a long getting a dedicated police force. So it's just about support now. And look at that, the Roman support. We've got 4. Oh, we're gonna do it. The new patriarch. Why would that decrease our relations? Because he's just our patriarch now, isn't he? There we do. There, we've done it. Oh, it'd be so silly. Imagine if I did that. Right. He lives in Romania. The ecumenical patriarch. Why? Now look at the money we're making. Serious dosh. Yeah, so we're pacifying the country. Ah, Tigray. We can't help them out. Kazakhstan? Russia? Oh! You should help Russia. Not that we can. And they don't. Oh, the Romans have slipped behind. Oh. Look at that. It's being pacified, the region, let's say. It's still... Well, yeah, so if we could just unite everyone under the proper Roman identity. It's just... We've got... You know what? We can start thinking about invading. We can take Warsangale, and Russia will help us. Yeah, we've got to, because Ethiopia is uniting right now. So unless we get involved, get crack-a-lacking, look at that! I hadn't seen how big our army's on. Oh, so these are the Turkish troops that have effectively just remained organised as they've joined our state. So, massive boost. Recruiting revolt. We could support their cause. There it is. Egypt would be like, oh, we've got to totally annex everything about them. So that's what we wouldn't want. And last time they just kind of survived. Oh, and they just want war reparations. And we're going to annex them. So they don't even want Crete back. Because if you've looked at the history of Crete over the 19th century, it was a big hassle for Egypt and then the Ottoman Empire. So I could totally get them going, look, you go, but just pay us for the trouble. What? I thought we had more. Yes, we do. Again, taken from the text. It is. Alright, they're following, Right, alright, so if we take... So we like Djibouti, because they were nice to us. Creep back down, they're just paying the dosh. Meaning we can just take Crete. Boom. I guarantee their independence so that we can annex them. It is what it is. Pretty good. We're doing A-OK. Nice having Albania. We're gonna Christianize it. What Skanderbeg would have wanted. Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah. Greek Somaliland. They're attacking Hurrah. No, they're not. So we've got to take Hurrah immediately. Oromia. Hurrah is not actually a part of Oromia. It's its own region. The Harari are their own like ethnicity. Yeah, Russia's gonna help. Wow, so we can quickly establish dominance. Yeah, so now no one's gonna back the Harari. Yeah, so if we quickly take the Ethiopian tag, we'll be able to stop Ethiopia from forming. We can set it up as a state under our control, and make lots of money from it. E4s have announced the completion of their survey of the island of Chios. Several ruins have been identified that have secured the island status as a strategic holding during the Roman era and its subsequent occupation by the Genovese before falling into Ottoman control. And then, yeah, there's that wonderful reminder that we're reinforcing Romanness. Oh, Thessalonica. There we go. Let's go. Thessalonica. Thessaloniki. Sure, I think it is more like that. Oh, we've done it! We've done it. So, don't love us yet. But it's going to be like, boom. Turmoil is probably so I don't think there's much you can do to reduce turmoil. Just people are migrating out. You know, that will, as I say, pacify the region. But population growing. People are mass leaving. Constantinople, though. Again, that will remove the turmoil. Where do we see turmoil? Turmoil from radical pops. So we need to take Wello. 11 infantry. We can do it. Nice. Very good news. Other Ethiopians will actually possibly get their act together. But it doesn't matter. We can win. We've got the Russians. And our now own Ethiopian army, which will be handed over to our soon-to-be vassal state. Call on him. That thing. Now no one's interested in joining. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so they're just defensive. Brave. John. You can defend. Nice. Alright, so we can do it on our own, but Russia might help. Yeah, so if we take the Gondor, which is the capital at the time, we'll be able to release Ethiopia. Oh, we're losing money big time. But Ethiopia does pay. Oh no! Scandal! Come on. Ethiopia. Release a subject. And, not trade states. Grant. Somaliland. They don't like the prestige difference. But we're cordial. We like each other. And they have, no, they don't have, I was going to say they have a nice army. Kind of don't. But they are paying 1k, which is, you know, seeing us through. Ah, that's what I was thinking. What was a sudden collapse? And I had mentioned this, and I'd done nothing about it. So we can. We've got paper mills now, so that's nice. Where's the building? You know what I'm looking for. Boom. Ah, that's done it. But we do need to expand. That used to be. There we go. And we can actually afford to build government buildings. Wow, I didn't see when that happened. We're already exiling people. Our government. Oh, it's so quick. Ah, yeah, we are low on prestige at the moment. Yeah, we don't need these subject payments to be so high. We don't need them to join us, though. We depend on the Russians for that, really. Help. Not there yet. Yeah, once we've annexed them. Most agreeable. That's helped our prestige. Oh, yeah. It'd be nice if we could hold on to Ethiopia. Greek Ethiopia, if you will. We will have a bit of. So we can't just go mental conquering Ottoman land. Once we're an empire, though, that will help. Yeah, and once we've got brigands, then it's just about waiting a little bit. Ah, the Romans have overtaken the Greeks. We've done it. Secure the countryside. So it's just, who's letting us down is just Thrace. Can we build like a police state? Prestige. Are you crazy? Why is it so expensive? Opium. That will be causing the unrest. It's not a fabulous idea. We do. Oh, yeah. Mildly starving. So what is it? So what would give them infrastructure? We do need food and not like drugs for whatever reason. The drugs have been given. Yikes. Well, we're not doing that anywhere else, are we? Yeah. It's against orthodox teaching. Obviously. Oh, yeah, that's why we're low in prestige. I'd forgotten about that. How's that? Barely. Oh, no, not barely. It's done a lot. Alright. Oh, no. Right, so we're just trying to... Oh, look at it, just speed along then. Romanians, not Romanians, Romans are joining us en masse. That's gotta help. So mostly we just need food. What are they lacking food-wise? So they're the majority, and they're obviously the radical ones. They need just grain. So, alright, grain. Import. Grain. There. And from our ration pack. And scissorings, maybe that'll help. We've done it. The Heptopergion presents a stunning example of the architecture from the height of the Byzantine era. With the major restoration work already underway, the Archaeological Service has voiced enthusiasm for the use of the site as a centerpiece in Byzantine education. That's what we're doing now, it's Byzantine education. The Acrocorinth, or Thebes, I think we're going to go in Thebes, Sil, production, and that's what we're bringing back. I wish them luck. That costs a lot of money now. Yeah, see, we're very close, we're very buddy with Ethiopia. They like the fact we liberated them, so to speak. But oh yeah, well, I'm not too proud to start. Might be a bit too late. But yeah, we can. They just asked for independence, I said no. What we can do. Yeah, see, if Welliger joins, they've got a claim. And yeah, we'll be able to push that claim for Ethiopia and they'll be chuffed. But they're not actually going to go through with that, okay. Russia are going for it. Yeah, but anyway, we can work towards patching things over with the Ethiopian. Oh look, it's only +10. But it's the high liberty design, so still. We're getting there, we're getting there. So we don't want to watch. Oh, they're gonna. Are they gonna do a naval invasion? I'd appreciate it. I don't even know. What happened to all our ships? What? Yeah, it's the odd. This is consistent enough. Ooh, Mexico's gotten throttled. The consistent enough thing. Peru, Bolivia, united. Nice. Yeah, why aren't we embargoing the others? Cost. Rivalry, though. That makes it better. Bulgarian nationals are fine. We'll appease them in the Byzantine Empire. Yeah, so one of the things I always find with this game is like things that like can destroy your game happen without them telling you. Basically. Right, so building, I've forgotten that. Building there. I won't be good. How's the first? We do need everyone to have. Most productive thing to win national consent. Also, cost bureaucracy. And the bourgeoisie won't like it. Ugh. So they're like building or something? Can you break it down for me? We're very low agency. Oh. State religion. That will cheer up the absolutists. It's very slow this time. What have I done differently this time? I can't think. I think basically I just bull rushed forming Byzantium and then like some of this doesn't happen. Something like that. Are they doing it? We'll just have to bite the bullet. Because I think they're already max. Yeah, they're already max, so we can actually it's naive ball back. Ethiopia's suddenly panicking. Oh, reports abound of a miracle performed by clergymen in Constantinople. Such displays are promoting religious piety throughout Greece. I think first of the good of others before yourself. To give is divine. To cultivate a generous spirit is true virtue. Follow the path of righteousness, not out of fear but out of love. 40% chance. Everyone's just like, boom, that's it. God's on the side of Byzantinism. Oh man, Ethiopia didn't manage to defend themselves at all. Oh, now they are. Yeah. Trundling their way. So, have they done anything about all these like ghost armies yet? Can Ethiopia defeat Somalia? It's an argument that would get very heated in the comments if we were, you know, actually posing it. But in this kind of made-up version, who knows? But I'm sure it has no representation of reality. If there's anyone listening in with a dog in that fight. Yeah. Oh, that was such a good thing to do. Look at that. Slowly going down the turmoil. Taking forever. Tell you what. Agrarianism. We want to change things. But do we want that? What was I going to do? Yes. Decrees. Why are we... Well, so we needed a bit of pop. Now maybe we've got too much pop. What we're going to do is integrate people. That's what I'd forgotten. And maybe, given that like all the Romans are trying to come, what do we want to do? Is there any way? Because you can... That's just penalties for turmoil. We need that as well. Otherwise... Gosh, there we go, finally. That's like grunt the... Oh, that gave him 10. should have done that beforehand. So they're going to go up anyway. But look, they're paying us anyway. So just because they're unhappy, you know. Yeah, Welliger's always like, we're gonna finally overthrow the Greek menace, and they never actually get around to it, so I'm not falling for it this time. Does nothing. But yeah, actually, I mean, we've built up a treasury, we can allow people to keep production. The workshops of Thebes. The E4s have announced the completion of the massive effort to locate and catalogue the numerous small ruins throughout Thebes. In the Byzantine era, many of these buildings served as the beating heart of the Byzantine silk industry. Now we're doing the Acrocorinth, I don't even know what that is. Begin a systematic excavation of the site in the Peloponnesus, starting in Tripoli. Yeah, if we have so much money, why aren't we just getting more land? Why would we want... so would that be Skopje? Man, we get a lot of good bonuses on that. How are they Christianizing them quickly? They're doing a bit in... but not enough. We are decreasing the amount of radicalization. Oh, that's good. Yeah, we're getting there. So I think if we just decrease the amount of turmoil, isn't that basically just it? And we'll finally get rid of the brigands. I think that is... ooh. Ethiopian radicals, so they don't want to leave Ethiopia. These alternate universe Somalis. Well, I hope they appreciate us coming to their help. Nice, the Finns helping. And today, here's another thing. Egypt are helping then the event. Well, anyway, today is Saint Henry of Uppsala. So Uppsala, I think it's somewhere there in Sweden, but it's not so much listed. Right, Saint Henry of Uppsala, he was an Englishman from, his hagiographies say, from Kalima, which means cabbage land, which might just mean like a backwater. And he's a missionary in the 12th century. He goes to Uppsala, but then decides to become a missionary to Finland instead, and starts here. And then he has many successful years, but then one Finnish pagan comes along on skis and kills him. But the holy Finns take his body, and he's thrown into one of these lakes. And the holy Finns take his body and take it to a shrine nearby, and then he becomes their like patron saint. So that happened on this day centuries ago. So yeah, pretty good. Thought that was worth mentioning, given that Finland then have decided out of pure charity to help the Ethiopians in their time of need. And that is the... oh, it's in Macedonia and Thrace. But they're not even mostly Turkish. Whoa, what's happening here? take on our own. Can't take on Egypt. But Russia. Oh, it's Austria's problem. Well, we can't take on Austria. They're fearful, but all they're going to do is lose money. Well, anyway, it's been over 2 hours. Should we call it there, or should we have something more satisfying to end it all on? I don't know. We've done it. We've gotten our colonial empire going. We've started the shift to Romanism. Well, yeah, all right. We'll beat this secession movement. Make them more loyalists. Why is this even happening? We can't suppress it. We don't have enough authority. We do that, and then we can start to suppress it. It's too late, really, but yeah, it's working. Man, we should have just... So Constantinople, despite having the turmoil, isn't anywhere near as troublesome. Oh, and we're not building, so they're low on food, and we're not even building them the food they need. Basically, all grain. Start subsidizing it. It's not about making money, it's just about feeding people. We've done the Equicurrent. Oh, look at that. People are feeling really Roman. I'm liking this. So we need to conquer them. We do law-wise. Cultural exclusion. That might pacify the Turks. Eventually, at least. Maybe we've got this. But yeah, I mean, let's see if we can pacify them. It'll take a while for that, but maybe some event will happen where we'll just like win over Turkish people to this Byzantine state. I mean, if they just get Orthodox, you know. Are there any Orthodox Turkish? Yeah, there are Turkish Orthodox people already. Secessionists. Wow. I'll afford that. Yeah, they like us a lot. It's hard to explain totally. Yeah, we just can't afford to lose our hard fought for police force, really. Should we? Yeah. Oh, prestige. Oh yeah, they absolutely. Wouldn't we want big? Yeah. There's no need for that. Might as well. Not doing it. Oh, we need the money. It's already considered. Oh, and we have pacified the text. They're not going to war. All right, we've done it peacefully, legally. That's good. There we are. What's happening? Oh. Oh. Well, at least we can reach the Ethiopians a bit easier this time. Maybe the Finns will help as well. Austria sides with Egypt. Do we... So we won't have any... Yeah, why haven't I been in no sync? Up because I need to play the bandits, and that will cause turmoil. That's why. Yeah. I knew what I was... Whoa, it's gone up again. Just from radical pops. Romans. The Romans mostly like us. We can't lose any more money. I mean, straight up, look at that. No. We could have these guys in charge instead. Do they like us more? Who's this guy? President. That's not gonna... No, we can't have government misalignment. But this guy has been constantly agitating for independence. Can't be having that. So I wonder why is there only turmoil? I think it just says from radical pops, but the radical pops here, which keep declaring war on me. But like 0 turmoil. Hard to explain. Ah, the landowners. Yeah, that's good. Look at that, we don't have to lose money during the war. Yeah, they're not gonna appreciate this at all. Pretty annoying, if you ask me. Yeah, we could do with a more powerful intelligence to push this sort of thing through. Okay, making money again. Oh, look at that. We're really trying to get them food. Turkish are hating the Albanians. Yeah, we have to. Yeah. That is a very real life-ish story. That could definitely happen. Yeah, are there any agitators that could help? Liberal movement. Absolutist. I know it. That's going to be brilliant. Let's just have a quick look around. Homesteading is possible, isn't it? Especially if we have the peasants on board. No. No. Listen. Hey. What to do? Sheesh. Why was this all easier? It's like the classic thing, isn't it? You do it a million times on your own, and then like you ask someone to say, "Oh, check it out! Oh, I can do," and then it doesn't work. Oh, this has been a lot tougher on the stream, or it's just the updates have actually said, "All right, this should be tougher." We're going for it. I shouldn't have gone for it. But we're going for it. Ooh. First things first. Get Russia on board. Yeah. Humiliate the Ottoman Empire. Right then. Ooh, don't want conquer. We want return. Return what is rightfully ours. Thrace. Where are we? Yeah. And then we can take Dogu. He's gonna back down. I mean, he's back down every time. At some point, he's got to start thinking. But anyway, it will allow us to push through Romanness. In 5 years, we'll actually be able to do it. I think that's the main reason this has taken a while. I've been doing it more properly. And I think the update has been a bit, better. I think it's better when you have to play it through and you understand the struggles that were actually going on at the time. Oh, is he going to let it? Oh, he can actually get to war with it. Oh, he doesn't want to be humiliated. That was it. The pride of the bow. Oh. Merit. But we did there it is. Okay, with the conquest of lands across the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles, the goals of the great idea have come to fruition. Our citizens now look to the state to lead them into a new era. Once more, as years and time go by, once more they shall be ours, says the Greek nationalist poem. Our armies, well, raise the standard once more. Why? It's risen. We've got to become Roman first. Well, we're doing it. Huh. There it is. I must have played with a mod that modified how you form Byzantium after in the load order Greece, or this is in the update, but I think it's probably that. So the turmoil is all in the capital. The Anatolian region of Thessalia has been incorporated into the Greek state, and many Greeks seek to call it home once more. But that land's always been out. Bithynia, there it is. Cultural exclusion, that has got to help us on this turmoil front. Right? It will. It will take some time, won't it? But anyway, alright, so that was it. The Megali idea, people feel, is completed even though we don't actually. We haven't taken Dogu. Got our reputation back, good. We haven't taken Dogu or Thrace totally, or Macedonia totally. But it's more successful than it was in reality, so there's something to be said for that. Maybe that's where we leave off then. And then once We'll finally beat the brigands once we've gotten rid of turmoil, and we're working on it. So I guess that's for next time. I know I didn't carry on the Canute thing, but we'll carry this on. I think so, because it's a fun mod. I forget what it's exactly called, but if you just look up in Steam Workshop, Greece and, but it's called something like Greece and Byzantium Expanded, and it's brilliant for like doing the actual history, keeping you tuned up, going into the kind of fantasy elements, you know, like, oh, what if Byzantium was reformed? They do the whole thing. It's great. So check out the mod. Donate to the guy, buy him a coffee. Also, go on the Patreon if you want to hear more of the, you know, the articles I'm talking about and stuff. Check it out. Yeah, that's all for today. All right, see ya.